Hello and welcome to Squib TV. I'm Samuel Layton and I'm joined by James Cartwright, and today we're going to be talking about
the Indianapolis Colts.
So, a season to forget for the Colts last year. Didn't manage to win their division in what was quite a poor year for the AFC South. Didn't really do much to get anyone excited. What do you think of them going into 2017?
Yeah, I think they're a solid offense, always in there. 10th ranked offense we've got here. Andrew Luck gets you a lot of yards, he gets you a lot of TDs. He always has a few games where he's injured. He just doesn't have something to get him over the line. I know you've criticised him in the past, and don't know, for the viewers, you want to clarify, a bit of an argument you've got with in regards to Cam Newton and that draft.
Yeah, my argument is that a lot of people said that at the year the Panthers went 2-for-14, Andrew Luck stayed in school, and the reason that he didn't enter the draft was because he didn't want to join the Panthers. Personally, I think it's because he wanted to get his degree, which I think is a completely fair reason.
Yeah.
But then a lot of people saying, well, Cam Newton's got nothing on Andrew Luck. He's not going to be the same sort of quarterback. When I look at what they've both done in the NFL, and still Cam has his doubters, as we've said before. I don't want to make this a Cam Newton conversation, but I think, look what they've done in the NFL. Yeah, Cam's had a stronger side, I think, built around him. But for me, if Andrew Luck is going to live up to that hype that he's been getting, where he's going to be the next Aaron Rodgers, he's going to be the next Peyton Manning, when's the success going to come? I know he was unfortunate to miss out on the Super Bowl with Deflategate and all that.
Exactly.
But I think the team was nowhere near in that game. When's that going to come? I think for a player who's got such potential, and where the NFL likes to big him up and they like to say he's the next big thing. Well, he's been in the league five years now. When's he going to get there? When's he going to realise his potential? I don't think it's all on Andrew Luck at all, but I think we look at what difference Cam makes to the Panthers and compare that. I mean, I think Cam gets a lot of stick and Andrew Luck gets a lot of praise where I think it's not necessarily due. Just to compare the two, just because of that story, it always got me there thinking, well, why hasn't Andrew Luck decided to do that? And obviously the Colts did terribly that season and they picked him up. And he has been a good quarterback for them, for certain. I definitely think that. But when's he going to push over that line? And this is not to slay Andrew Luck at all. I do like the guy. But I just think, for a player with such potential, I mean, you can compare him to Robert Griffin III, who absolutely bombed after his first good season where he won Rookie of the Year, being awful since then. At least Luck's being a solid QB. But with such potential, you just want to see him get there, don't you? Personally, I think that's why I'm.
To be honest, I've thought about it more, and it's like the injuries. I mean, I know he's had a few injuries over his time. I remember he didn't play against us. Scott Tolzien was in that game. I just think that's the main thing, and you've got to look at the defensive side of the game for the Colts. It's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, they've made differences this season. Tried to solidify the secondary in the draft, which is a massive weakness for them. They've brought in Malik Hooker, the free safety, Quincy Wilson, a cornerback as well. So there's two players there that slot into that secondary and hopefully improve them. Yeah,
and they've also lost Mike Adams, a guy who joined the Panthers as safety, who was a decent player for them last season. But I think adding in Malik Hooker, a young guy who can maybe make a bit of a difference. To go back to Andrew Luck, I don't want to just make it seem like I'm abusing him here. He is quality, and I think, like James says, it is the defence mainly on the Colts, because offensively they've got some good players. I mean, look at the wide receivers they've got, just to name a few. T.Y. Hilton, Dante Moncrief.
Exactly.
I mean, they've got some of the good players there. They do lose Dwayne Allen though.
They do.
But Jack Doyle's there. Do you think he can have a breakout season this next year?
Yeah, he made a few decent grabs throughout the season, and I don't see any reason why not. I think he's one of them guys who can be there.
I'll be honest, I think as a fan of the NFL for about 7-8 years now, as we've watched it.
Yeah, intensely.
When I first became a fan, the Colts were there with the Patriots, weren't they?
Well,
almost.
yeah.
They were probably better than the Patriots. And I mean, to see the Colts struggle as they are, especially with a guy like Andrew Luck, who's got all his potential. I think for me to see this guy with such potential and they haven't performed, I think that's what's difficult to understand. This is the Colts team that I sort of always got the idea of the Colts are going to be there.
Yeah.
They're going to be in there. And for a few years now, they've struggled. And in what's been a poor division, I think they should have been in the playoffs 3-4 years in a row now, because that division's weak. And to take nothing away from the other sides in the division who've all had rebuilding phases. I mean, what do you think of the Colts going into 2017? Do you think it's their division to win this year?
Yeah, well, I think it's anyone's division to win. I'm looking at all them sides. I can't pick a winner at all. I think any of them can stake a claim. I think it's probably the closest division just wanting one of them quarterbacks, them young quarterbacks, just take the bull by the horns and really stamp their authority and make it their division. You know, as Aaron Rodgers has made the NFC North his division, Tom Brady's made the AFC East his division. You know, it's been a bit of a battle in the AFC North between the likes of Roethlisberger and Flacco. We'll probably say that's Roethlisberger's division. There's all these quarterbacks, and they've made these divisions their divisions and had them for the taking. I think any of them QBs. I
think you want Andrew Luck to step up, don't you? With going as a number 1 overall pick, you want him to step up and do that.
Have a fully fit year, just be 100% fit for the whole year. You know, and we'll see how he gets on.
Just one thing to mention as well with the Colts, obviously, a surprise move, perhaps Pat McAfee retiring from the punter's position.
Sad, actually, because one of the characters of the game.
I was going to say, what a top character. Gone onto Barstool Sports, a comedy channel now, so if you do get the chance to check him out as well, I found some of his stand-up comedies quite funny when I've seen it. A top guy as well, so obviously wish Pat the best of luck in his future career. It'd be a shame not to see him punting the ball, because he's one of the best punters in the league.
He was actually a good punter as well.
As far as he is a good character. But yeah, James, anything else you want to add on the Colts before we move on?
Yeah, I just think the Colts are sort of one of them sides. I look at them and I just don't think they're that far from being a really good team. I just think they're a couple of parts away, but then parts that are missing are just exposed.
Yeah, I want Andrew Luck to come out this season and prove me wrong, and I want to take them to the playoffs and show me why he's one of the best QBs, because he is. He just needs to prove it for me. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you are a Colts fan, you want to absolutely abuse me for going against Andrew Luck there, please feel free to do so. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe, and follow us on Twitter at Squib_TV. Thank you very much for watching.
It's a touchdown.